Adopting a producer mentality is one of the secrets of creating wealth. Being keen on creating products and supplying services that are in demand or innovations that will create new markets. We could use the natural gift which many of us have to reach the pinnacle of success, producing both for ourselves to consume and more so for others. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Jamaica Magazine. In today's show, changes to the way government accesses goods and services, plus where to get help to get your business idea off the ground, and later, initiatives to safeguard the agriculture sector. Stay with us for these and so much more, coming up right after these messages.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Changes to the way government accesses goods and services, or what's called public procurement, are allowing greater benefits to local suppliers, particularly medium, small, and micro enterprises. We examine that further.
Jamaica's business sector is becoming much more competitive, largely in part to the transformation taking place in the public procurement process. Now, the sourcing and provision of goods and services is being made easy through the enactment of the Public Procurement Act, PPA. The Act is Jamaica's first standalone legal instrument which will guide and regulate how government spends taxpayers' dollars on the procurement of goods, services, and works, allowing all parties involved to see increased value for money. With the enactment of the PPA, several strategies will be employed to provide support to persons who participate in the public procurement process, creating a clear connection from advertising to contracting. The Office of Public Procurement Policy will perform the role of making recommendations to the government with respect to the policies to be adopted for public procurement, and being the national contact point, provide support to persons who participate in the public procurement process and other stakeholders such as international development partners. The Public Procurement Commission will promote efficiency in public procurement proceedings, the implementation of procurement contracts, and the transparency and equity in the award of such contracts. Under the Act, participants will see the development of a code of conduct for public officers and best public practice guidelines for public procurement. There will also be continued training for public officials and the implementation of an online version of the procurement process known as e-procurement. For more information on Jamaica's public procurement reform, contact the Ministry of Finance and Planning at 922-8600. You may also visit their website at www.mof.gov.jm.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to
live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Do you have a business idea you want to turn into reality? you may want to set a firm foundation to start. And there are government and non-government entities around, ready to provide strong entrepreneurial support for young business enthusiasts like you. Let's find out more.
The foundations of corporate empires are usually rooted in the minds of young, bright men and women who've dared the risks of becoming entrepreneurs. First, identifying opportunities that can create wealth, products and services that are in demand, and meeting those needs with unique innovation. Planning and establishing a business is no easy task, and operating successfully for any extended period is an even tougher job. But Jamaica's youth entrepreneurship policy and strategy gives young people with good business ideas a chance to operate more thriving long-term businesses and create their own income. Youth entrepreneurship is encouraged by both public and private organizations. It is also being fostered within schools and communities to instill the business bug early. And with more young persons owning businesses, they'd be helping to drive economic development and job creation, all of which can make a difference in the lives of other people. And that explains why support has been growing in areas of financing for startup and business experience. Government over the years has established various agencies for helping the youth set up and run their businesses. The National Center for Youth Development, NCYD, for example, continues to empower youth in entrepreneurship. Both attached and unattached young people are able to benefit from access to information through the establishment of youth information centers across the island and various programs that include training. Government has partnered with organizations such as Jamaica Youth Business Trust to provide venture capital funds for persons under the age of 30, collateral requirement being only a sound business plan and a willingness to accept a mentor from the private sector. There is also the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, YEP, giving school leavers at the secondary and tertiary levels with strong entrepreneurial spirits the benefit of training and access to financing. Youths also have access to various business support services provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the premier business support organization. From the conception of a business idea, young entrepreneurs can get help through the stages of developing the business, planning, financing, starting, marketing, and growing. Indeed, the window of opportunity is open for all youths to access business support at the highest professional levels.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Food security is an important component of economic growth and national development. It's why government has been keen to ensure that exotic pests and diseases that pose a threat to agriculture do not enter the island. We look at one of the latest developments.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, through its Plant Quarantine Produce Inspection Branch, hosted a 4-day pest risk analysis training session in Kingston recently. The workshop was used to sensitize plant quarantine officers in the principle and methodology of pest analysis as the basis for establishing phytosanitary measures for Jamaica. This is to protect our borders and establish documented guidelines on import permit forms to restrict pests coming to Jamaica.
We take this thing very seriously, and our commitment from the ministry is to do all that we can to put this division, this unit in a position to be able to effectively and efficiently safeguard the nation's planted status.
And so the pest risk analysis training is equipping us as practitioners to do the relevant pest risk analysis in a scientific way in order to provide the necessary quarantine, you could say mitigating positions on our import permits. in order to have us comfortable and our importing public comfortable.
The pool of trainees was drawn from various divisions in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Participants will be able to use all the relevant scientific information to help us decide on how to address informing a customer why we are not allowing a particular import, or what phytosanitary conditions we are going to institute if we are going to allow them to import a particular item.
It gives me now the tool to better able to make some of those decisions, and some of these decisions they are very important to protecting our citrus industry.
Funding and technical assistance for the workshop was provided by the European Union's Development Fund program.
We endeavour to strengthen Jamaica and the region's potential as a fully fledged trade partner for the EU. This project is one important component of that endeavour, and it has broader advantages in the longer run.
The training is part of the EU's Regional Sanitary and Phytosanitary Project and is being managed by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA.
The SPS project seeks to assist the CARIFORUM states to gain and improve market access by complying with Europe's sanitary and phytosanitary measures, and to develop and strengthen regionally harmonized SPS measures.
The local workshop provided a forum for discussion on the establishment of a pest risk analysis handbook and decision scheme for Jamaica.
The decision scheme that we are hoping to have as a deliverable from this training is to allow us to have a formal way of addressing imports, particularly with how we make the decision, whether it is an insect or a bacteria or a virus. How do we make the decision after analyzing the risk, whether it is medium, low or high? And the handbook will be a structured way of doing a pest risk analysis. So the handbook is going to be giving us the confidence in approaching each step where the pest might come in.
The overarching aim of the pest risk analysis training is to protect the agriculture sector by safeguarding our plant stock from pests. The long-term benefit is that Jamaica would have improved its phytosanitary export and import certification. This will also provide better security, reporting functions and monitoring capabilities for plants, plant products or other regulated commodities leaving or entering the country.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original.
When it rains, it pours. The rainy season usually brings an abundance of the precious commodity, filling rivers and underground aquifers. But although the sources might be there, making water available on demand depends on how well those sources are managed and protected. Some 84% of the water we use comes from groundwater stored in underground aquifers. The Water Resources Authority is the agency of the Ministry of Water and Housing, which has the primary role of protecting, conserving, and allocating water for use from these sources. And in carrying out these functions, it collects data on water quality as well as groundwater levels across the island.
We are maintaining our allocations in keeping with the assessments that we have done. It's just like a checkbook. You balance your checkbook, you know how much money is going in, how much is coming out, and you want to keep a certain balance inside it that we have to keep for certain reasons.
This process is to ensure that we have a regular supply of water flowing through our taps. That balancing act depends largely on an important sequence of events called the water cycle. By transferring water from one reservoir to another, river to sea and to the atmosphere and back, water in our aquifers are replenished. But Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. An increase in temperature is likely to mean less rainfall, which would then force the authority to lean more heavily on underground sources such as wells. Problems like prolonged periods of drought and seawater intrusion in reservoirs along coastal areas, limiting the availability of clean fresh water. One solution: conservation. And that's where you come in. While the Water Resources Authority manages and protects water sources, each of us has a role to play in managing the water we use. At home, school, or in places of business, water conservation is everybody's business. While the supplier or utility company focuses on efficient transmission and distribution, consumers must also help. And in helping to conserve on water, we help ourselves. Use less, pay less. Besides conservation, there are steps consumers can take to rein in water usage. Another solution: low flush toilets.
Which basically gives you a very, like 1 gallon of water to flush, compared to like 4 or 5 gallons from a regular sized toilet. Urinals are also being made with 1 liter per flush. You can see that, and there are automatic eyes on them that once you step back it flushes and stops.
Then there are those basic tips that govern regular routines. Not running the tap while you brush your teeth, using pressure shower heads and aerators to save water, filling up your kitchen sink to wash dishes rather than washing them under a flowing tap. Taps like these stop automatically in seconds after you turn them on. And then there are other measures.
Reuse of the grey water that comes out of your bathroom or your sink connected to the gully basin and puts it out on your lawn or grassy area. You can recycle that water.
Leaking pipes are a no-no and a sure way of depriving others of the precious commodity. In addition to plugging those leaks, consider making use of excess rainfall. Collect rainwater and store for general use, as well as to augment regular supplies.
We are applying that to some schools that we're working with rural water supply with, and with the Food and Agricultural Organization in looking at the use of rainwater harvesting for irrigation purposes.
Beyond steps to use water more efficiently is the important task of ensuring that this precious resource is not polluted.
We try to be a little bit proactive in working with NEPA, the National Environment and Planning Agency, as part of the Technical Review Committee when developments come in. We try to reduce the impacts on water resources to make sure that the sewage system that puts in don't impact on water resources, that runoff from certain areas don't get into the aquifers and contaminate the aquifers.
And while the authority does its part, we must ensure that our actions do not put our water supplies at risk. Sinkholes lead directly into aquifers and should therefore never be blocked or used as garbage dumps.
They can report incidences where they may see pollution occurring or people having discharges. For instance, if cesspool emptiers are discharging somewhere where they shouldn't be and it could impact on water resources, they can call in and make a report.
Think about it. What would life be like without sufficient good quality water? Protecting and conserving our water is everybody's business.
On the board this week, the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, continues its island-wide search for entrants in each parish for the 2016 Miss Jamaica Festival Queen Competition, which closes on Monday, February 29. Entry forms and other details for the 2016 Miss Jamaica Festival Queen Competition can be accessed from the JCDC website at www.jcdc.gov.jm, the JCDC head office at 3 to 5 Phoenix Avenue in Kingston, or at any JCDC parish office island-wide. RS Productions and Judah Productions invites you to None Like You book launch, Saturday, March 5, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Venue, Just Salads, 9 to 11 Phoenix Avenue, Kingston 10. Live performance, readings and book signing. Edutainment is inviting everyone to come out and support Poetry in Motion, which will be held on Sunday, February 28 at the Manchester Golf Club, Bromley Road, Mandeville. The event will feature Barbara Gluden, Dean Fraser, Muta Baruka, and many others. Showtime 6 p.m. It's the final day of event for the 5th annual Reggae Ground Nation, being held at the Institute of Jamaica Lecture Hall on February 28. Come out for presentations, stay for the performances. The event is free and starts at 2 p.m. The Ministry of Health is reminding citizens to search in and around the home and the general environment for mosquito breeding sites weekly and destroy them. Organize cleanup campaigns and use mosquito repellents, mosquito nets, and proper clothing to protect against mosquito bites. For more information, contact 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683 or 663-7914. Also, visit your parish health department or the Ministry of Health website at moh.gov.jm. And that's it for our community notices today. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868-022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next Prime Minister.
Children in Jamaica constitute anyone who is under the age of 18 years. And so once you have a child who is under your care and supervision, we encourage you at the Office of the Children's Advocate to always know where your children are. It doesn't mean that you have to be there with them, but you certainly know who they're with, where they're going, and the purpose for being there. This is a key component in helping to establish some rules in terms of some ground rules and helping to guide your children towards responsible and sensible choices, and also assisting you if something were to go wrong to know what is the first point of contact to assist your child. While you're not to look at everybody as a potential suspect, that you need to be very wary of adults, whether they're in positions of authority or not, that seek to want to have a very close relationship with your child. Somebody who wants to invite your child on an outing and it's just that adult and your child alone. Somebody who wants to take your child to a very special event to reward the child, perhaps for some performance that the child would have done in an extracurricular activity or for academic excellence. We encourage you to look at these situations very carefully and to determine whether or not it's an appropriate meeting or outing that this person is propositioning for your child. If you're enrolling your child in a daycare, ensure that you know something about the track record of that daycare. Ensure that the daycare has what we call an open door policy, which allows you to go in, see what's happening, observe how the workers there interact with the children, and know some of the ground rules that guide these interactions. If they're going on outings, whether it be school trips or otherwise, ensure that at some point, even if you can't go to all, you do attend some of them, so you get yourself integrated into the system and the culture of the school. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister, cause she could be the next Prime Minister.
Women in rural and urban areas have been tapping into lucrative, value-added food markets. Utilizing the services of the Home Economics and Social Services Unit at RADA, they're processing and packaging excess fresh produce from the farms.
We go into the areas and whereas the extension officer would be helping the farmers to grow the crop, the Home Economics officer help in the utilization of the crop. So therefore, in terms of using things one way, when we teach persons to use things in a number of ways, we teach home economic skills.
We give them the skill so that they can do it the same way all the time, getting a consistent, good product, quality product that can compete with other products. So we help them with the technology, formulation, we help them to source suitable packaging material and to help them to label the products.
Farming, man's earliest occupation, has proven to be one of the most important tools for alleviating poverty and advancing development. And with food processing added to the mix, the scope for employment and wealth creation is more certain. RADA has established the Agri Mart store to support some 98 farming groups involved in small-scale food processing and cottage industry.
That's what we try to do, to help them to produce at a price that, would allow them to compete, because, that we have imports and we have big producers, but there's still a place for the smaller producers who, as you said, produce unique products.
This first Agri Mart, located on Hope Road in St. Andrew, provides a wonderful opportunity to promote and market whatever members of RADA groups produce.
Our customer base is like householders, business people, residents in Oak Pass as one of the surroundings. We have a lot of those people. People traveling would come in and buy souvenirs, and just workers, a lot from the ministries.
One other thing about Agri Mart is you not only find things from St. Andrew, it is RADA, so you will find things from all over the island. For instance, you have here a jelly, it comes from in the hills of St. Andrew, it comes from Dallas. It's a pineapple jelly. And you have other things. This is from St. Thomas. It's a tamarind sauce that is made in St. Thomas. You have pickle here, we come as far as St. Mary. So when you go over through the Agri Mart, you will find different items from across the island. This is our local pancake mix. It's made from cassava and it's produced from Twickenham in Twickenham cottages, and this is a RADA group. This is different from the regular pancake because it's made from cassava, so therefore it would have more nutrients, more beneficial to the body. And we are accompanied by syrups, the different syrups. We have 3 types. We have guava, apple, and mango. And the good thing about these syrup is we utilize what we grow, so therefore it's not flavor, it is the fruit itself that is used to make these syrups. Preservation is one of our main areas because you have to utilize what we have. So therefore, if there's a glut, we find ways in which we can utilize, so therefore persons don't lose out. So winemaking is a technique that we teach our ladies. As I said, jams and jellies, another method of preservation. This is also a means of generating income. And you can see here the packages are lovely. Packaging is important. This is guava. We have guava and tamarind here. And over there we have pepper jelly, we have tomato jelly, different means of utilizing what we have. That's a key concept, utilizing what we have and eating what we grow. When you want a bit of Jamaica, the Agri Mart is one of the places you can come to because there's a bit of the old here.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. Also click on our website jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to take care of your health, eat well, exercise, get adequate rest, and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.